Stelios Xeroudakis. I'm with Cloud Carib. Cloud Carib is a cloud provider in the Bahamas, and it's targeting enterprise customers in the Caribbean. The company started about 3 years ago, and it has been using VMware products since the beginning. Working with Virtual SAN on a new storage offering, in addition to our vCloud stack, which is vCloud Director, vSphere, and VCNS. With Virtual SAN, we really like the performance, the simplicity, the fact that it's very easy to manage and upgrade, and the integration with all of the VMware technologies that we are already familiar with. Also the fact that it's completely different from the old paradigm of provisioning storage on different storage systems, and it's also saving rack space. We use less physical space for the deployment of the storage system. When we first saw Virtual SAN, we compared our traditional storage system that we had with the Virtual SAN performance in one of our labs, and we saw that the performance was impressive with Virtual SAN. So we started adding more applications to it and expanding this Virtual SAN proof of concept that we had. So we realized that the performance is comparable to all flash disk arrays at a much better cost structure that we get as cloud providers. So the fact that it's very fast, very simple, and the fact that it's also easy to consume as a cloud provider, this made it a no-brainer for us. The simplicity to provision VMs and apply policy to specific VMs for our customers is one of the most important features for us, without having to separate tiers of storage like we had before with our traditional storage systems. As a cloud provider, the biggest challenge with storage is that you get completely mixed workloads. You don't know what the customers will be running on them. So there was no way to predict the storage performance needs of a customer before they actually start using the systems. With Virtual SAN, we actually see that all of the workloads that customers bring to us, they perform much better than what they used to be before in traditional storage systems. And that's something that it gives us competitive advantage. There's never been any issues with Virtual SAN over the last year that we have been testing it. Support is really efficient because it's the same global support with VMware that we're familiar with. As far as I know, it's one of the highest rated support from any vendors that we use. We did all sorts of tests initially before we deployed in a production environment. We simulated disk failures, host failures, network failures, and Virtual SAN didn't have any issues dealing with all of these failures. So we're confident in deploying more applications and more VMs on this system. Since the original deployment, we have doubled the capacity of our VSAN cluster with zero downtime. So the more nodes we add, the more capacity we get, the more performance, and there's no downtime. So it's very easy to scale up, scale out with VSAN, and all it takes is just a few clicks. It's a very efficient way to upgrade your storage without adding more rack space than you actually need, because by having converged storage, network, and compute capacity, we don't have to waste rack space, which is at a premium where we are in the Caribbean. So we really like the fact that we can scale our compute and our storage at the same time without wasting rack space. The technical support that we get from VMware as part of our cloud provider contract is very efficient, very quick responses. The support engineers are always knowledgeable, and they can resolve the issues. As far as I know, it's one of the highest rated support from any vendors that we use. And this is very important on a storage system because that's the most critical aspect of your customers' data. They need to be able to have confidence that their data is on a solid, stable system. We spent quite a bit of time studying the design guides from VMware about the proper implementation and the hardware compatibility list, ran all of the health checks that were listed on the website, and we used hardware that is certified in the HCL. And with these requirements, having passed these requirements, it was very simple to enable Virtual SAN. So after the initial deployment design, we were able to implement it in a matter of hours. It was very, very simple, much easier than deploying a hardware-based storage system. In terms of features, in the future releases, we would really like to see encryption as part of the offering. Deduplication and compression would be nice to have those features available in the next Virtual SAN releases. And also the capability to serve storage through other protocols like NFS or iSCSI for other vendors, for other applications that are not VM aware. We have some solutions now that we use, like an Exenta, in order to do that, but it would be nice if Virtual SAN supported this natively, so we have one vendor to deal with. So the way we found out about Virtual SAN, we kept running into performance problems and capacity problems with our current storage that we had before, with the old storage that we had. And Virtual SAN is a radically different approach. So we were intrigued by that, And after testing it, we realized that all of our requirements were met by this approach. So some of the criteria that we look at when we evaluate vendors is the credibility of the vendor in the industry, the support history that we have with them, customer references. So with VMware, we know that VMware is already used by everybody in the Fortune 100. Huge companies globally rely on VMware for the day-to-day operations. So we're fully confident in basically running all of our infrastructure through the VMware technologies. The vendors that were directly competing with Virtual SAN for our project were hardware vendors that were providing all-flash systems. This would be the comparison for us. The cost of the all-flash systems was prohibitive for us. We're a relatively small cloud provider in the Caribbean, and with Virtual SAN, we like the fact that we can pay through the VCAN program, where we pay only for what we use. And this was another huge benefit with Virtual SAN in our use case. I would rate Virtual SAN 10 out of 10 right now. There's no issues that we have with it so far. We're very happy with it. I would highly recommend Virtual SAN for any demanding application that is running on VMware. We have no reservations at all with Virtual SAN. We recommend Virtual SAN to anybody who has demanding applications. So a lot of people think that Virtual SAN is a new, unproven solution that people might use for testing or development. But what we actually see when we talk with our peers and with what we see with our customers is that people are using it in production, and we are using it in production. If it can be used in production for a demanding environment like cloud provider, it means that it can definitely be used in production for any company that has storage requirements, demanding storage requirements. Peer review and peer content is a very important factor when evaluating storage solutions or any enterprise IT solution. It's the raw data that you see from people that are using it the way that we are going to be using something. It's not media or something that's not tested. So this has the most weight for us. It's the most important factor when considering a solution, what our peers see.